Hello and welcome to the channel. This video I wanted to do a mini scrap session, ripping apart some miscellaneous stuff in the backyard, and let's see how it turns out. So I'm in the process of breaking down this bed frame. I've already taken off the brass nubbins that went on the ends here. They just spun off with a pair of channel locks. All the framing is steel, but these are all cast. There's a big chunk of cast over here, so I'm going to use the hammer, bust what I can off of this, and we'll see what we end up with when I'm done. Okay, well, we're all done beating the crap out of that, and we have us about 12 pounds of cast aluminum here. I'm surprised how solid these pieces were. I mean, they are solid all the way through. Well, we can add that to our bucket of cast, and we'll move on to the next thing. And next we're going to scrap out this light. It's very simple. We're just going to take the cord out of it. The metal itself is just steel. We're going to unscrew it up here at the top, and we'll cut the wire there, and then we'll pull all the wire out nice, quick, and fast. Okay, so we got a good bit of wire out of this, and now I'm just going to cut the plug end off. These are brass, by the way. You can rip these off and throw them in your brass bin. You're going to want to leave it intact because down here there's some plaster. It's like a concrete material, and it adds weight to this, and we'll just throw it all in the steel bin. On to the next one. And here is one of those standing oscillating fans. It's got a good bit of wire on there. So we're going to break this apart, get the motor out, and snip that wire. And we'll see what we end up with. Okay, so the fan is all broke down. We have our tin shred. We have our copper that was inside there. Nice, bright, and shiny. We're going to break that down further. And then we have clean cast aluminum that surrounded that copper. And we have our bits of wire. So this is all going to be sorted and put in its rightful spot, and we'll continue scrapping. Hey, next we have a screen door. It's aluminum, so clean this up. It'll be extruded aluminum and you'll get top dollar for it. These are the tools that I use to clean it up. And let's get to work. You're going to want to start by pulling up a corner. Once you get this rubber pulled out, you just continue around. And once the screen and the rubber is removed, you have a few screws in each corner. Just go around, take all the screws out, and give them a light tap to break these seams open. And so when you're doing this, at each corner there's this piece of aluminum here that is connecting them together. Don't forget to take these set screws out, or else you're going to fight yourself. These rollers that are usually in the bottom of the door, screwdriver is the best thing to take them out. Just pry it in, pop them out. And when you're through, you got nice pieces of clean extruded, top dollar. And now we have a vacuum. Everybody loves a vacuum for the wire. And there's a bunch of wire on this one, so we're going to start by snipping the wire, and then we're going to take just about every screw out that we can find to try to get to that motor, and we'll see what we get out of this vacuum scrapping it out. Okay guys, so we have broken down this vacuum cleaner, and we got us a big chunk of wire. We got some little bits of wire here, and the motor that's inside of it. Unfortunately, I gave it a scratch test. And you see that bright shiny? Yeah, it's not copper. It's aluminum. It's just copper coated or colored. There's the bit of screws that came out of it. And this big piece of plastic still has steel in it. So I'm gonna scrap it in the steel pile. For me, it's 6 cents a pound for that motor. That's all there is to a vacuum. And here we have another example of extruded aluminum. It's very tough, rigid. In order to get full price for this, obviously you have to take these screws out. You have to take all the metal bits off. You have to take anything that's going to add more weight to it. Like this is a stucco type mix. You have to chisel all that out, make sure that this aluminum piece is clean, or they will give you 3 times less value. For a piece like that. So that piece of extruded aluminum I just cleaned took me 15 seconds to maximize my profits. If you got a broken bolt in something and you can't get it out, use a power tool to make it quick, or forget about it. Move on. Hey guys, so here we have a power supply unit for a spa or pool chlorination system. Let's have a look inside. And we have some wires, we got a board. We have some copper here. I'm gonna scrap this out and we will see what we get from this supply unit. Alright guys, so it's broke down. These are the little pieces from the transformer. It was all interwoven. Some transformers are welded together at a seam and you can break them apart. This particular one was interwoven and it would not come apart, not without power tools. So you can mess with it if you want to. I'm not. Half of it was copper, half of it was aluminum. We got some bits of wire. We got some brass. We got some hardware, tin shred. We have some boards. There's some copper on these boards if you rip some of the stuff open. And we have some steel. And next up, guys, we have that copper transformer. Remember the fan that we scrapped? Yeah. This beautiful copper came out of that little oscillating fan. And these are the tools that I'm going to use to get that copper out from that steel. So let's get into it. First off, we're going to start by cutting all this cordage that's holding all the copper together, and we have to get some of the zip ties off of this. Oh, let's start doing that. Okay, so now that all the strings and all the connective stuff is cut free, you want to take your screwdriver and you want to pry it underneath these valleys here. Kind of lift that copper up, make it easier for you to cut with your snips. So next what we're going to do is we're going to grab these snips here and we're going to cut right at the top of all these valleys here. Get them all cut. I'll get right back with you. Now we have everything cut. You're going to want to take your screwdriver and you're going to want to push these up, kind of straighten them out the best you can. It'll make it easier when you flip this over. And you're going to stick your screwdriver underneath here and you'll pry the loops out. They're just big U-shape copper wire. So you're going to pry them up one at a time, one at a time. For the stubborn ones, that's what the channel locks or the grips are for. Grab onto them and yank them out. So let's get that part done and we'll see. So after using the screwdriver to pry up all the pieces, and we're left with a good amount of copper here, and that came out of an oscillating fan. Never would have thought. That's a good ball of copper. So guys, that's all I have for this scrap session. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. Maybe for you scrappers who've been doing this a long time, this is just basic. But it's an easy way to get the copper out of these transformers, this style. So please subscribe, leave comments down below. We'll see you in the next one.